Hi, and welcome to Geno's Picks. I know, a little more baseball, then we can get to some college football. But let's break down this huge four-game series between the Yankees and the Jays at Yankee Stadium starting tonight. Okay, you know how you know this is a big series for both of these teams? Because both of them blew games they should have won last night against terrible teams. But I think the one that took it worse was the Yankees. If they can beat the Orioles, one of the worst teams in baseball right now, then they go into this series down half a game in the Bronx. But what did they do? When you look up at the scoreboard in Yankee Stadium and you're beating the Orioles 3-1 in the fifth and you see that the Jays are down 10-1, which is kind of a comfortable lead at this point with that offense for the Red Sox, then you've got to win that game, but they don't. 2 unearned runs later and 3 pitchers from the bullpen that weren't even in baseball when the month started, and they lose the game 5-3. And you've got to capitalize at this point when you get an outing from CC Sabathia like the Yankees did, because he's been terrible. In the past 3 years, Sabathia has watched more of his speed go out the window than a Cuban in a car chase. It's a drug reference. And just like that stuff they're throwing out the window, everything that Sabathia is throwing at you right now is absolute garbage. But that's how it went, and I understand why Girardi threw those 3 arms up there, because he needs to save his quality arms for this huge 4-game series against the Jays, especially tonight. Because in the opener, who do you have? You have David Price, who's been amazing going against Ivan Nova, and give the Jays credit. Because when they went out and got David Price, everyone was saying, why do you go and spend all this money on a guy that you just need to win in the playoff wildcard game? No, they knew what they were doing, and they arranged their pitching rotation so that Price, the lefty, would face the Yankees as much as possible. In the first outing, 7 scoreless innings. They win 6-0 there at Yankee Stadium. In the second one, he does exactly the same thing, but because of a pinch hit homer by Carlos Beltran against some ridiculous reliever they had in, suddenly the Jays lose 4-3. But he has been in fuego. Since the Jays got him, where are his stats? Excuse me. Since the Jays got him, he's gone 5-1 with a 2.15 ERA, and he is no stranger to Yankee Stadium, pitching for Detroit all those years, where he's had 14 career starts in and barely above 0.3 runs a game. So you've got to love them in this game, because I think what he does is he go out there and he pins his ears back and he throws heat at these Yankees, knowing that he has the bats behind him, even if he gives up a ridiculous lazy home run here or there. So I'm really excited about him to get out early in front of the Yankees, and the Yankees and their aging team to look bad. If you want to see someone swinging wildly and looking stupid, you can either watch the Yankees game tonight or you can Google footage of Ron Artest in the stands in Detroit. Yeah, I won't call him Meta World Peace. And you know the Lakers are going to sign him? Ugh, that jerk does not give them a fighting chance. Okay, now in Friday's game, Friday night, you got Marco Estrada, who's a modern-day Dave Stieb. Who's Dave Stieb, Geno? Do you people know anything? He's the only Blue Jay pitcher ever to throw a no-hitter. And just like Marco Estrada, he's the only other Blue Jay pitcher Estrada did this year to go into the 8th inning in consecutive outings with a no-hitter. Of course, they all lost them. Steve lost both. Estrada lost both. But Estrada, who was at 5-6 at one point this year, has gone 6-2 in his last 8 decisions with this new Blue Jays team and their incredible bats. So I really like them here, because this is a kid that has only given up 4 runs twice in the last 11 outings. How do you not? And never more than that. So I love him there. Okay, now here's another game I love. Saturday. You have Marcus Stroman, who was supposed to be the Jays' ace going into this year, but in the preseason, he had some fluke ACL tear in his left knee, and they took him back slowly. So now he's pitching a home game at Yankee Stadium. Yeah, and he's from Medford, New York, so you can't write a better story than to have this kid take the mound against the Yankees in front of his family. And here's the beauty of it. It's a 1 o'clock game. So Stroman is pitching on 11 months rest against the Yankee team that is on 6-hour sleep. And that brings me to my point. I mean, I don't care what you do in the Sunday game, R.A. Dickey versus Tanaka, but I'm telling you, you've got to love the Jays overall in this series, because there's a reason the Jays are 1 and the Yankees are 2 in runs scored, although it's going to be a 100-run differential after this series, I promise you. But the real story is the run differential, where the Jays are first and the Yankees are fourth. Because the Jays are going to do all season, especially since they've made all these trades at the deadline. They're just letting their pitchers go out there and throw hard. That is why you see a huge turnaround in a guy like Estrada. That is why David Price is pitching so well, because they're young. And the Yankees are getting older. Look at this. Alex Rodriguez, Brian McCann, Jacoby Ellsbury, who's batting .267. Believe me, kids, the Yankees are not paying him $1 million an hour to bat CC Sabathia's weight. The only thing that the Yankees can beat the Jays in an average is average age. That is why I think this is the 4-game series where the Jays separate themselves from the Yankees. And if you bet the Jays every game, I guarantee you're going to come away with at least 3 wins. Bet big on Price tonight, and definitely bet big on Stroman on Saturday. Those are Geno's picks for a little baseball. College football coming at you. Who you like in the football game tonight?